Good morning, everyone. In our series of Jehovah Shalom, the Lord is peace, we continue with where we left off last week, which is Satan's offering of peace, his buffet. And today we're going to focus on Satan's signature dish. You know, it's quite common to see the menu of a restaurant written outside on a blackboard and the chef's special prominently displayed. You know, Satan too offers his signature dish in the buffet that he puts out. Usually, it's the most attractive and most popular one in the menu of entrapments that he puts out, which is, note this, escapism. Well, escapism comes in many forms. Sometimes it comes disguised when God has, in His wisdom, withheld a certain thing that you really wanted, maybe a blessing that you desired, something that you desired. But in His wisdom, He has withheld it. Well, withheld it. And that is the time the devil will step in and he will make you feel cheated of that blessing. So much so that he will start creating a world of escape, which escaping into, regret, remorse, anger, disappointment, dissatisfaction, resentment, and just wallowing and murmuring. And he will dig a pit that goes deeper and deeper. Beware of this or slipping into this mode because in this at this point, he forms a curtain that blocks our view of the current bigger blessings that he's showering on you. So just be aware of escaping into a world of resentment and remorse and feeling disappointed. Well, escapism can show up as an addiction or a bad habit. Escapism can also be that you don't want to face reality. It's so overwhelming that you want to run away from it. You want to throw in the towel. Sometimes it can go so extreme that you don't want to deal with it permanently. You want to be released from it, run away, fly away. And it feels like, that these negative thoughts can even lead to one wanting to end this life, and have suicidal thoughts. Do you feel guilty at that moment on this or in such moments? Well, don't be, because that's what the devil wants you to, Satan wants you to feel. Remember, he did not even spare Jesus. He asked Jesus to jump off a cliff. Okay, remember, this is his signature dish that he wants to entice you with. And if he sees that you're not biting, he will try harder. But what does the word of God say? John 8:44 states, Satan is a murderer and a father of lies. So, did you think that Jesus didn't want to just throw in the towel and just escape all the suffering that was coming to him in the Garden of Gethsemane just before his crucifixion? When it just everything came to him, he was so overwhelmed. Even Jesus felt like throwing in the towel. Okay, in Matthew 26:39, he says to his father, Christ to his father, and says, is it possible? If it's possible, let this cup be taken away from me. Okay, so Jesus understands what you're going through when you feel like you just want to run away. But this should be a little red flag that shows up when you feel that a sense of, escaping and want to, just run away. We need to quickly switch into traffic signal mode. What is our traffic signal mode? The triple A. Arrest your thoughts, arm yourself with the word of God, and then ease forward. And in this mode, when we are set into this mode, when you're pausing, when you're arresting your thoughts, you can do also a bunch of other things, right? One thing is to reflect and organize your life. If there are tasks that overwhelm you, split them down into smaller tasks, okay? Set day to day little goals for yourself. And then, delegate whenever it's possible, delegate, delegate. The other big thing that one should do for oneself is not to be so hard on yourself, right? Be kind to yourself. This is very, very important. And then once you've done that, you pray, like just like Jesus did when he felt like just escaping and throwing in the towel. What did he do? He prayed. He just cried out to the Father. Rest of the disciples were sleeping. You don't need anybody. You just cry out to the Father and ask Him. And if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, even the words don't come out to pray, ask somebody to pray over you. Okay, and then you proceed forward. Folks, Satan's buffet will leave you hungry and angry. I know of a friend during her marriage time really suffered with the practice of horoscope, and she used to almost call it horoscope. If you're into palm reading and resorting to palm reading, Isaiah 49:16 says, you have been engraved or written in the palm of his hands. you know if you've lost a loved one and seeking mediums to connect with the spirit world, why do we want to do that when Isaiah 8:19 clearly states, why seek the dead when you have a living God who is available to you at your beck and call. And if you're into astrology, Amos 5:8 clearly states, why seek the stars? Seek the one who made the stars and put them in their place. In other words, seek your creator and not created things. One of the highlights of our trip to Thailand was our shopping escapade in Bangkok. It's the mecca of shopping, they say. And we entered this shop, which had these exquisite handbags everywhere. And when I was looking at them, they were even, closely, they were designer brands. And I thought, okay, if they're designer brands, they're going to be very expensive. But when I looked at the prices, they were very reasonable. So I gathered a few and went in to pay for them. And the owner of the shop, just before I went to pay, I looked at him and asked him, are these genuine? And he looked at me and he laughed. He said, yes, madam, genuinely fake. Well, the peace that Satan offers appears genuine, but we all know it's fake. It's a temporary feel good factor. Guys, Satan's buffet is really an entrapment. God's bread, on the other sense, is our nourishment. So come to Jehovah Shalom and avail of his lavish spread. Feed on him because he is our peace. He is our Jehovah Shalom. God bless you.